Rohit is informed, Virat looks informed, Shreyas has been informed. So a lot going right for India here, and this has given them again weeks of rest, which is also important because it's such a crammed up tournament.
And South Shakil they were doing in the middle overs. Although they did stabilize the innings, they did manage to get a partnership.
Both Shaul Shakil and Rizwan in the middle overs just ate up too many deliveries, and you don't expect a Rizwan to eat as many deliveries as he did. Harry Brook, as we said, needs to come up. He needs to score big runs. Joe Root, through no fault of his own, was against in the losing side, but Phil Salt again hasn't performed for them in this tournament. He needs to come. But a lot of things needs to happen for England, and South Africa looks really strong.
Lost his nerve in the end, did Michael Holding. And Lord Carr, chairman of the credentials.
They're running. It's got to be a direct hit. Getting back for two. That is the end of the match. Won the NatWest Series.
It would have been fantastic if it would have been 100.
In the air, Srijan takes it! India wins! Dhoni finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. Here we go, last ball to the offside, it's running through, it could be run out!
Wide, Muller gets it, and he gets plenty of it, does he? No! What a catch! Oh my God!
It's in the air, it's India who win the T20 World Cup after 17 years.
Beautiful day to watch some cricket at last. Like, I'm hoping today there is no interruptions due to rain, because today is a good match between South Africa and England. With England, for England it's a dead rubber, but for South Africa there are a lot of permutations and combinations, like who they will face in the semi-finals, that relies upon this match. So yeah, an exciting weekend for as in perspective of the semi-final lineups. And yeah, so uh, looking forward to this week. And first of all, let's welcome Nishant. Hi Nishant, how are you? How are you doing today? And what are your thoughts about the last week that went by in the Champions Trophy?
Yeah, I'm good. Another week is gone, and last week was all washed out. Probably the only big story is that England is now not part of the Champions Trophy, so they are out as well, which was hilarious. But yeah, apart from that, I was expecting a lot more matches than they actually happened. But yeah, this coming week is what everything depends on the next week. So yeah, pumped up and excited.
Right, right. So last time when we connected, India Pakistan didn't happen. It was about to happen. So we'll start from that, and we'll discuss at least the matches that actually happened, because there were three washouts from last Sunday to this Saturday. So I think the weather is also not favoring Pakistan as a host, because it all got washed away, all their preparations, all the huge loads of money spent on the stadiums, the renovations. But I think even the nature is not in favor of Pakistan hosting an
Did
ICC
you
event.
did you see the videos yesterday? So even after like drainage was improved, these new stadiums are built. Ultimately, they were using wipers to
Yes,
clear the
yes,
water out of the stadium. So yeah, that was funny. I mean, that's
right.
Pakistan things.
Yeah, there are some peculiar things that you will only get to see in Pakistan. So yeah, all in all, I won't consider it a big success for Pakistan as a host, although cricket fans have enjoyed the encounters, which actually got to finish, like the run chase that Australia did of 351 against England. But more or less, as a team and as a host, the event is not a big success for Pakistan. Uh, Part of the credit goes to India as well, because half of the tournament is shifted to Dubai, and
And that's
if
the
all
more
goes,
successful of the leg.
yeah, and that's the more successful leg of the tournament. And if all goes well, the final will also we will get to see in Dubai itself. So let's hope for the best. And let's start with the India versus Pakistan, the legendary, the El Clasico of cricket, as we say. What a match! And initially we thought we are going to get a much stiff competition from Pakistan, a much higher total to chase, but eventually they folded out on a 241. So, what do you say about that, Nishant?
I think again this was as one-sided a game as you'll see, and I was expecting a lot more. It actually turned out that the pitch started playing a lot better in the second innings. So that again, I think it's just bad luck for Pakistan. But yeah, I thought when they scored 241, I thought they were maybe 20 runs short, 20-25 runs short. But I still thought that they had a fairly good chance of making a game out of this. If they take a few early wickets, they can actually do something in the game. But it turns out just by the opening stance that Rohit and Shumpan had given, it gave Virat time to then come and settle in and play at his own pace. And yeah, the game was never really a game after that.
Yeah. So what I see is probably like I was reading online as well. There is a problem with the intent from Pakistan team. Like they, as soon as they lose a couple of wickets, they just go into a shell of their own, and they don't really want to come out until the 40th over. So you cannot delay the attack so late in the modern day cricket, because now even ODI is played as a, like you are playing two T20 matches in one inning. So that kind of a attacking mindset is required, and I think England started that after their loss in 2015 ODI World Cup, and that shift reached to India when we lost in 2019. So from that World Cup, Rohit has just completely changed the approach of how India plays ODI cricket, and I think rest of the world is also changing their approach with time. But I think Pakistan is still stuck in I think 2015, where we used to just pass the middle overs with knocking the ball around, taking singles, and all those things. And I think the same we got to see with Rizwan and South Shakil, they were doing in the middle overs. Although they did stabilize the innings, they did manage to get a partnership, but it never got going. Like there had to be a point where they were meant to accelerate, but they never did. So that's why I think the ultimate score was 30 runs short.
There is another factor, which is that now that Pakistan has lost so many of these matches against India, and these two countries don't really play any bilaterals, so the matches are always big stake matches, and you've lost like around 18 or so matches in these competitions against India. So there's just too much pressure on this team. So even if when they walk out on the pitch before a ball is bowled, they are, I feel, already 80%, 70% of the mindset that we are going to lose this one. And that creates a huge difference because even though the middle order isn't scoring that many runs, but they they still want to stay in the crease as long as they can rather than try to score runs and get out, because that would mean a lot more pressure back home, a lot more media attention, a lot more that you in this kind of a big game you cannot take such risks and things like that. So they are playing on the safer side, and then when they are playing on the safer side, that as you said, it means that they'll be 20 or 30 runs short every game. Now, in 2017, 2018 kind of a time, they could probably manage better even if they were 30 runs short, simply because Shaheen Shah Afridi and Haris Rao, they were just in prime form at that point of time. Now it looks like Shaheen is a shell of himself as a bowler. I have not seen him perform against India in past 2 or 3 occasions. Now he himself looks beaten and out, and that means that they can't probably make up for those 30 or 40 odd runs. And then in the middle overs, they're playing part timers again, which Virat has had his problems with spin in the middle overs, but when he's not gonna be fussed by a Kushdil or a player like that, because that's where the pressure is being taken on by the opposition, and they keep scoring runs in those middle orders. So Pakistan has a lot of questions to answer. They'll probably again fire the chairman of PCB and appoint someone else, which is what they keep on doing every 6 months or so. But yeah, this team is not going anywhere. Next T20 World Cup is again in India. They'll probably say that they don't want to come, and if they come, they will probably not perform. So yeah, it's a sad state, but it was too much expected from this game. I think the last one which actually delivered was the Melbourne game. After that, in the One Day World Cup, then T20, and now this it's all India. It's very one sided.
Yeah, that's very correct, and I think until and unless they give a longer rope to their selection committee, to the coaching staff, that sense of security that yes, we give you 2 years, you try, you build a team, you change the intent, and you play out your strategy. Until then, I think nothing is going to change. It would be just a band-aid on a fracture,
I
you
think
can say.
Babar actually looked good for those 23 runs of 26 balls, and I actually felt that if Babar went on to play a big one that day, I think the game would have been on. But after Babar got out, both Shaud Shakil and Rizwan in the middle overs just ate up too many deliveries, and you don't expect a Rizwan to eat as many deliveries as he did.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were
And
architects of their own downfall in this one.
And he played with the lowest strike rate apart from Imamul Haq. Rizwan just played with a strike rate of 60. So there is a point when you got to pay the return on those deliveries that you have wasted to settle in. But
Yeah.
that point never came, and they hugely missed a guy like Fakhar Zaman at the top, who I think is the only guy who plays with intent at this moment in Pakistan 11.
I mean, Imamul Haq came down to open. He scored 10 of 26 balls. I mean,
Yes.
this was your day to probably make a name and cement your place in this team. And first of all, in the power plays, you can't waste 26 deliveries at the strike rate of around 38, 39. You can't do that. But even if you have done that, then you can't get out and waste, actually, as you rightly said, these. You have to make up for it. And they didn't either.
Yeah, that's where they I think they fell short, and uh, that's I think there was one more tactical mistake that they did was playing only one specialist spinner in form of Abrar Ahmed, so that also costed them very highly when they were defending such a total of 240. So yeah, talking about how India just managed to chase that within 43 overs, it was a sight to watch, and I think Rohit is just following the ODI World Cup template, and he comes and he just tries to give team a flying start, and then from the other end, Shubman Gill stabilizes, rotates the strike, and then if Rohit gets out, then he starts to attack to give Kohli the time to settle in. So I think this strategy is working very well for them as of now, and I don't see any problem going forward as well. It's just that there is a injury concern to Rohit. He's pulled his hamstring, so I hope he recovers well for the semi-final and the final.
Yeah, yeah. So Rohit won't be playing in the game tomorrow against New Zealand. We think it would be Rishabh Pant, but let's see what happens, because
Yeah.
Yashasvi is also there, but I think they want to try Rishabh Pant at the opening slot, which can be very interesting. So we'll see about that. But as you rightly said, I mean, he scored 20 runs of 15 balls as an opener. You're doing well when the other guy is going on to make a 46. Shubman Gill is scoring practically in every game these days. So again, very very good for India. Virat never really disappoints against Pakistan. It used to be the case against Australia as well, but let's see if that
Yeah.
happens again often in the future. But yeah, I think this match was perfect in the sense that everybody in the middle order apart from KL Rahul got their fair share of deliveries to bat again, get into a lot more rhythm. Now Rohit is in form, Virat looks in form, Shreyas has been in form since England. So a lot going right for India here, and this has given them again weeks of rest, which is also important because it's such a crammed up tournament. So the players will be fresh, and I think this bodes well for them to play against New Zealand now because though it will be a challenge of a very different level, if I must say, but keeping that confidence going and winning again and again, and you keep players performing in the big match gives you a lot of
Yes.
confidence. And I think this was a key match for Virat Kohli. Not simply because it was against Pakistan, but also because he wanted to step into this tournament with a big score under his belt already, so he can play more freely going forward, which has happened. So yeah, all good signs for India.
Yeah, this sets up India very well for the semifinals, especially Virat Kohli with a lot of confidence he would have got from this century, and also Shreyas Iyer also got to spend some time, and he faced the pace of Haris Rauf as well. So that was a good practice for him for the matches upcoming, and I think this would really help with. This would really help him in the semifinals as well. Yeah.
Shreyas has gotten really good against the short ball lately, which we
Yes.
were also seeing against the series in England and now against Harris. He tried to short ball him a lot of the times, but Shreyas has changed his technique in the past few years, and now he's actually able to pull and hook the ball, which is very good. So I think we'll see a lot more of that in IPL. To really understand with this new stance, is he actually able to combat everything that comes in this area, or
Yes.
he still has a certain issues? But I think for now, Shreyas only had this grave weakness against the short delivery, which was troubling him a lot in the international circuit. But now it seems to be fine. So again, if it's the case, then Shreyas has added another bow to his arsenal, and which is good. And Shreyas looks really good right now.
Right, right. Yeah, the techniques work well for him because he stays deep in the crease, and he just holds it like a baseball and never taps it on the ground. Just in the air, he just keeps it waving like the baseball players play. And when the ball comes at a height near to your neck, he just gets a bit more time to react to it, and most of the time he manages to keep the ball on the ground on the pull shot as well. So I think, yeah, that's a great technique, and that's a great way of countering your biggest weakness, and I think it works well for him. So until and unless the sports analyst of other teams figure out like what's the next chink in his armor that they can target, I think he's good to go at least for this tournament. So yeah, hope this
Yeah,
works out well for him. Yeah, so I think from India Pakistan perspective, this was all that we wanted to discuss, their repeated failures. And from the Indian bowling lineup, I want to take two names, Hardik Pandya and Kuldeep Yadav. They really bowled well, and like in fact, Hardik, like he bowled
Hardik bowled his he
eight
bowled his
overs,
heart out. He was very
and
good.
took two wickets as well. So he was bowling really as per the
Yeah,
conditions, bowling into the ground, bowling slower ones, and deceiving the players of Pakistan. So I think he's really upping the tempo as we progress in the tournament, and I
yeah.
think that's a good sign for India.
Yeah, I think Hardik bowled really well his ball, and also Kuldeep. I think he was very good. Harshit again now took 2 wickets. So now it's becoming a problem in the sense that Harshit is being given opportunities and he is performing well. But where does then Arshdeep come into picture? Because Arshdeep
Yeah.
should be for me your premier bowler. He has got something which others in your lineup don't have at this moment. But do you see him actually playing against New Zealand now? Because it's been a week's break, so Harshit would again be fit and raring to go, and you don't want to make any changes to the winning combination. So,
Knowing,
is
yeah, knowing
yeah.
Gautam Gambhir, he would definitely play Harshit Rana only. But it might be a scenario that they are keeping Arshdeep as a surprise for the knockouts, probably, or since tomorrow's game is not a game changer in terms of India's prospect in this Champions Trophy. They may want to try and see what kind of form Arshdeep is carrying in. So both scenarios could be possible. But
I think there are no surprises these days. I mean, all of these players play the IPL, so
yes,
all of
yes,
these batters will play either against South Africa or Australia in the semi-final. So they know everything about Arshdeep. So I mean, it's not about surprises for me, but yeah, as you rightly said, because Harshit has been performing well, he's been taking wickets in every match, so it becomes really hard uh, to take him out of the team. But when you're now thinking about going to the business end of the tournament, there would be an occasion where you'll face a finisher who is in peak form and who is blasting. It could be Heinrich Klaassen, it could be Alex Carey, Josh Inglis, any one of those who are
yes,
actually in the 40th over going really well. And then you would need those Yorkers which Arshdeep brings into picture, which neither Shami can bowl, nor Harshit Rana or Hardik could do for that point of time.
yes, yes.
So I think in those kind of situations, if you don't have Arshdeep there to contain in the back end of your innings, you're gonna ultimately be found out because Harshit and Shami are very similar bowlers when it comes to death bowling. They don't have those critical slower deliveries as well, which Arshdeep bowls and as well as those Yorkers. So that is the only thing I'm a bit worried about when they come against an informed form Klassen or a informed English. How are these two specifically going to tackle?
That experience of death bowling counts for something, and he has been very
Yeah,
successful in the T20s
yeah,
in the recent last year. So I think he should have he deserves a place in this 11.
yeah,
Let's see whether Gautam Gambhir considers him or not, but I think he deserves a place in this side because in
yeah,
terms of batting, even Harshit does not give much, but we have seen him being expensive in some of the matches as well, where the players just go after him and he is very likely to leak 15-20 runs within an over. So I think that's where Arshdeep could be critical. But let's see, yeah,
yeah.
what strategy they take. So moving on to the next match, next completed match that occurred in Rawalpindi, which is sort of a rarity in this tournament. So Bangladesh versus New Zealand, which was just a way of New Zealand showing the gate to Bangladesh from this Champions Trophy, and the result was on the expected lines, and Bangladesh could never really break out of the situation, and they were not able to set a challenging total for New Zealand to chase. So yeah, 236 is all they could manage in Rawalpindi against New Zealand. So
Yeah.
apart from Nazmul Hassan Shanto, who played a captain's knock of 77, the rest of the team couldn't support him well, and they just ended up with 236. So what do you have to say about Bangladesh? Again, a dismal performance in this tournament.
Again, as New Zealand showed, Bangladesh were probably 50 to 60 runs short. Oh, and that again, if you're playing to survive in this tournament, you against a team like New Zealand, you need to have a fighting chance. But I thought even before the game started, there was very little probability that Bangladesh would actually end up beating New Zealand. Will Young did get out on a duck, which meant that Bangladesh thought that they could now put some pressure on New Zealand, and then suddenly taking Kane Williamson as well, which meant that they were at that point of time around 10 or 15 runs for 2 wickets. If the middle order bowling was experienced enough, if they were the likes of Shakib, obviously he's retired now, but if those kind of experienced players were in there, probably they were able to put in the squeeze and put New Zealand under some sort of pressure. But what it turned out was Rachin Ravindra was just too good for them and a lot skillful in these conditions. So yeah, I think Bangladesh, this specific side which they've put out in this Champions Trophy, needs a bit more experience under its belt and also need a few things here and there in terms of skill sets to be added before they actually make up a good mark. They're still better than Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka couldn't even qualify for this tournament. But yeah, in order to become the second best team in Asia, I think right now for me that tag is firmly with Afghanistan with the kind of performances they've put in the last World Cup as well as this Champions Trophy.
Yes.
So I think Bangladesh is just a tad bit behind Afghanistan in terms of cricket, and Bangladesh is the older cricket playing nation, so they need a lot more to ponder upon where the things are going wrong. But yeah, I don't really feel that after the first 7 or 8 overs when Rachin Ravindra started playing those cover drives, that Bangladesh really stood a chance in this game.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they faltered against spin, which they considered strong against. So they couldn't capitalize on the spinners of New Zealand too much. And like Michael Bracewell uh, bowled a brilliant spell of just giving away 26 runs and taking four of Bangladesh wickets. So I think that was a brilliant performance from Michael Bracewell. And yeah, they never really could get the momentum going for them. And once Shanto got out, the middle order just collapsed. And yeah, the experience of the likes of the all rounders like Shakib was simply not there to put an anchor to this inning. So that's where I think they folded. But I think they will learn from this experience as they play more as a unit together. The younger guys like Mehdi Hassan Miraj and Rishad Hossain, they are really talented, and Bangladesh should hope to do better
Yeah,
performances in the future ICC tournaments.
yeah. I mean,
And yeah,
these are their two most important bowlers at this point of time, right? Mehdi Hassan Miraj and Rishad Hussain. And if you look
yes,
at their economies, they are the highest conceding bowlers. So that means so Rishad at 9.1 overs has got 6.30, and Mehdi in 10 overs has got 5.3. So 53 runs he's conceded. I think that's if you're the most experienced, they need, just as you rightly said, a bit more matches under their belt, a bit more experience where if अगर वो गेम चला रहे होते वाली situation, so I think that's what they should have done. They should have tried to control the New Zealand innings. They could not, and also no fault of their own. Rachin Ravindra keeps
yes,
on impressing. Uh,
yeah.
every big tournament he performs, and yeah, so a lot of the credit also goes to Rachin Ravindra, the way he handled the pressure in that middle innings.
Yeah, so talking about Rachin Ravindra, I think he has been in the news past whole month with the ball, with the accident that happened in the match against Pakistan. The ball is just hitting the forehead, and then he being admitted to the hospitals, and then his iPhone getting stolen from the hospital. So a lot of news he created, but the most positive of them was from this match. So he did make a comeback, proved his fitness, not only match fitness, but he also scored a match winning century, which is a big plus for
Yeah,
New Zealand because suddenly Kane Williamson is not firing at all like he was playing really brilliant in the tri series that South Africa New Zealand played in Pakistan, but suddenly I think he is not able to convert those starts. So addition of Rachin Ravindra in this side gives them a huge boost for the tournament.
yeah, yeah. I think that's what it is. Kane will score runs because, as you rightly said, he had been scoring runs in the tri series as well, so he knows these pitches, he knows everything. He's just been a bit unlucky. He will get amongst runs, and it looks like he'll score a big one against India. But let's see what happens there. But whatever news is Rachin has been in the past 1 month. He again himself is a very young guy, and a lot can put you in pressure at that point of time. But this innings has again showed the type of temperament that he has. We already saw that in the Test series against India, and we became all huge fans of his by the kind of 100 he scored in Pune. It was all in Bangalore. I'm just forgetting the context, but yeah, that 100 was really amazing. And again, this one after being in the news for all the wrong reason, after getting injured and proving your fitness and coming back to bat for 105 deliveries is a big thing. And he did it really well. There were four fours in it, just a 1-6, but even then the strike rate is above 100. So all the good signs of a very good ODI player coming out of New Zealand again. And yeah, I mean, he certainly looks the one who is gonna take the baton from Kane Williamson in that middle order for New Zealand and delight us with his batting for many years to come because yeah, he looks really good.
Definitely, definitely. So moving on from this match, the turnaround of the tournament, where once again, Afghanistan made an upset for England, like history repeating itself from the 2023 World Cup ODI, and then this again made the exit of England from this tournament
Yeah,
very eminent. So I think. What's in Afghanistan that England is there a psychological barrier that they are not able to get over, or is it just that they lift their game so high against England that England somehow falls short every time they play against Afghanistan? There are some
it's the
questions that
spinners.
yes,
It's the spinners. There are three of them in that Afghanistan side, and if Afghanistan manages to get a total on board, they become very hard to beat. That's the crux of it. I mean, Afghanistan has two batters in Gurbaz and Zadran, and we talked about them in the start of the tournament as well. If Afghanistan win, one of the two or both of them are the ones who are scoring runs. This match, Gurbaz couldn't really do that, but Zadran made up for it 10 times with an innings which a lot of people are going to remember for a long time because 177 in a Champions Trophy crucial match. The 12 fours and 6 sixes. He had everything. He gave everything for that Afghanistan cause. And yeah, allowed them to get to 325. It was a huge score at that point of time simply because you would say that even in the game before England had scored 350 and they lost that, but they had scored 350, so they can easily score 325. But I would say that in the second innings, when the pitch is turning a lot more, I think Afghan spinning lineup is much better than what England provided against Australia. So I think this was a well-deserved victory for Afghanistan. It wasn't a fluke, and it has happened now a lot of times in past 4 5 years for us to now accept the fact that it's not a fluke, and Afghanistan are a really good side when they have a total on the board and they want to defend the total. And bad luck to England, but yet, we said that this could happen because Afghanistan are very strong team.
Yeah, definitely a brilliant innings from Ibrahim Zadran because they lost Gurbaz early just on the score of 11, and then
Yeah,
they also lost Sadiqullah and Rahmat by the time ninth over finished. So they were practically 37 for three at the end of 9 overs. So from
yeah,
there to get the total of 325, which is a huge score. It shows like the potential of this team and the fitness
yeah,
that Zadran displayed because we saw in the same match Joe Root, who doesn't even open for England, was just gasping for air and he
yeah,
was completely exhausted. And he kind of threw away his wicket because he did not had any energy left. He was spent 100%. So even in the terms of fitness, like Zadran just proved how crucial it can be in tournaments like that, and he practically carried this team. One-handedly. But apart from this brilliant performance, there was one guy who just not performed with bat, but as well as ball. And I think he equally deserved the man of the match, which was Azmatullah Omarzai, who played a
yeah,
wonderful knock of 41 and then took 5 wickets in the when they were defending. So although the spin trio did try to contain England, but it was actually a medium pacer who reaped all the benefits because guys like Rashid Khan just managed to get 1 wicket. Noor Ahmed went wicketless, even though they did try to contain. But the guy that capitalized on this was Azmatullah Omarzai, taking 5 wickets
yeah,
for 58.
yeah,
So his cunning, slower ones were really the game changer in the last 10 overs when England was chasing. What do you say
yeah.
about that?
What I say about that is, if IPL auctions hadn't already happened and they were happening in a few days from now, Omar's I would have gone for a lot of money because that's a dream Hardik Pandya kind of a performance that he put in there. He scored 40 odd in quick time and then he scored 5 wickets. What else can you want from an all rounder? As you rightly said, it was an all round performance which was one of the key pillars in the victory that Afghanistan achieved. I mean, Gurbaz is a star, Noor is a star, Rashid is a star, Fazlullah Farooqi is again a star for Afghanistan, but it was others who probably came into the picture. Nabi with his 40 was again very good. So a lot of them came together to pull this one out, and England is gonna remember it for a long, long time, and Josh Butler is gonna remember it for a long, long time because I still feel that even a 70% Josh Butler could have won that game in the situation that he came into bat. Uh, Josh Butler himself looks really, really out of form and really low on confidence. But I'm 100. A really, really fluent Josh Butler would have finished this game 5 overs to spare, and even a 70% Josh Butler finishes this game and doesn't get out the way that he did. Yeah, so England are struggling. They need to find something within them, and Brendan McCullum needs to lift these players up. I think Harry Brook is going to be the captain next, but let's see what happens. Yeah, it was a bad tournament for England, and we actually predicted that the way they were playing in India against India, it looked like this team lacked something, and that's what it was.
Yeah, talking about Harry Brook, don't you think he is underutilizing his potential and just in the course of following the baseball approach, like he scored 25 on 21 balls with three fours, and then he got cotton ball by Nabi. He just tries to accelerate so early that he just keeps losing his wickets. And I have seen
No,
these cotton balls against not only Nabi, even in the series against India, he got out that way multiple times against.
I think England is again. I don't know what they're thinking. If you think that Harry Brook is your best batter, and that is what the projection has been to the outside world from ECB over the past 2 years or so that Harry Brook is the flag bearer of this generation and he is their best batter. In all formats, they're saying. No, so he scored a triple hundred in a test match. He scores good runs in one days in T20s. He's already a T20 ball captain. So if he is your best batter, why do you have to bat him at number five? I mean, your best batter always bats at number three. That's a given. That's where the greatest batters have ever batted. It's your one, two, three. One of these three will have to be your best batter. Put him to
Yes.
open. You can't put him to open. Bat him at number two. Bat him at number three. That's the maximum if he's your best batter. Give him the chance. Give him the new ball. Give him the chance to settle down, see the pitch, score some runs. Uh, as you rightly said, Harry Brook himself doesn't do justice sometimes by playing some innocuous shots which get him out. But in his defense, I would say when he's coming in the 30th over to bat, in his mindset, his temptation is that if he can score a 50 ball 80 at this point of time, he will win the game for his country. So that's the mind because it's only 20 overs left. He needs to come into bat when there are 40 overs left at least. So he needs to be up in the order, and that will change a lot of things. I mean, Sachin
Yeah.
Tendulkar never really performed that brilliantly at number five when he was when he was very young. But they asked him to start opening, and that's where in the one day game it changed for him. So that's what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I think yeah, Harry Brook could have at least come out at number three. In place of Jamie Smith, he could have easily batted there. And
Yeah.
Jamie Smith could have swapped places with Harry Brook because you need Joe Root at number four. So that's given till the time he does not retire. But I think, yeah, practically they could put him in number three.
Yeah, see,
Harry
their
Brook.
number. Joe Root is coming at number four, Harry Brook at five, and Joss Butler at six. I mean, these are your three best batters. They're in themselves facing only 20 overs of a 50 over game. So I mean,
Right.
that's not something which I can agree with.
Definitely. I think, yeah, Josh Butler should open. Like he is meant for opening. He takes his time,
If
but he
he
then changes the gear so soon that he covers it up.
It's exactly the situation that Rohit Sharma is in. If Rohit Sharma doesn't open in this one day side, then Rohit Sharma doesn't find a place in this one day side. He can't bat anywhere else. The same is the
Right.
case with Josh Butler. You have to make him open. If he doesn't open, he is not a player that he was 10 years ago that he'll just face 10 deliveries and score 20 runs in those 10 deliveries and get going. No, he now takes a bit more time to settle in. He's not your tail end slogger that you're putting him at that number. He either opens or you find someone else. That's the hard reality of the team structures at this point of time. So I think they're just
Right.
underutilizing their resources. Is why England find themselves in the situation that they find themselves in.
Definitely. And even after such a badly managed lineup, guys like Joe Root, with the brilliant skills that he has, he managed to score a century and he almost took the team through. But he simply lost against his own fitness and he was simply dehydrated, all spent. There was no energy left in him when he tried to scoop that shot over the keeper, and that was a slower one. He could have guided to anywhere else, but he simply didn't have the energy to do that. So I think when Joe Root got out, that was the turning point of the match that gave Afghanistan an entry, and they capitalized on it very efficiently.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's sad to say. I mean, yesterday's match also got washed out, though because of Travis Head, Australia were so far ahead of Afghanistan that Afghanistan didn't really have a chance, I think, to qualify
Yeah,
after that onslaught from Travis Head. But if you could have at least got to see the whole game, probably a Rashid or a Noor could have done something, and probably Afghanistan could have found themselves in a semi-final, but that's
yeah,
not to happen. But yeah, I think in this game specifically, Afghanistan showed a lot of courage, a lot of guts and determination. And every world tournament they are now performing. They did the same in US as well, and before that in India, obviously. So yeah, good from Afghanistan. They did a
Good
good job.
performance from Afghanistan, yeah.
Yeah,
Where you see England is at the bottom of the table without any points. Pakistan, Afghanistan has scored 3 points. So
yeah, and
yeah,
West Indies and Sri Lanka aren't even in the tournament.
aren't even in the tournament, yeah.
Yeah, and
So
in
simply
that kind of a
making their name.
situation, yeah, Afghanistan, what they've started playing cricket like 20 years ago or so, and
Yes.
they're doing so well. They don't have that many clubs in their country. Their lack of resources, but see, their players are just playing all over the world in various leagues, and that's where they're gaining their experience. And then when they play for their country, they actually play for the badge, and it shows. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, till last year, I suppose they were practicing in your own background. There was a stadium in Noida where they used to
Yeah,
practice. So
yeah,
I think they are just maximizing the returns from whatever resources they get, and they are
yeah,
just brilliant. They are doing very well.
yeah.
So kudos to them and all the luck in future. Moving on to the remaining lineup for this weekend. So we have South Africa versus England today, and tomorrow we have India versus New Zealand. These two matches will decide what would be the lineups of the semifinals coming up next week. So, what is your hunch, Nishant? Like for today's match? Would baseball come to the fore and just try to prove their approach and beat South Africa, or they would just follow the suit and just go
Yeah,
winless
I think
without any win
England is
in
a
this tournament?
beaten team at this point of time. Uh, also, I mean, it's not that they can't beat South Africa. They actually can because they're a very good side on paper. But a lot needs to change for them. Harry Brook, as we said, needs to come up. He needs to score big runs. Joe Root, through no fault of his own, was against in the losing side. But Phil Salt again hasn't performed for them in this tournament. He needs to come good. A lot of things needs to happen for England, and South Africa looks really strong. So I am thinking of a South Africa win, but I think that would even be a better thing because then that means we face Australia in the semi-final rather than a final.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably I've been rooting for South Africa to win.
Definitely, yeah. The combination that fares well for India is if they face Australia in the semi-final rather than the final. That removes a
Yeah,
lot of psychological
baggage.
baggage from the past. So that's an added advantage. So talking
Yeah,
about India versus New Zealand, I think KL Rahul should open and Rishabh Pant should come at number five, which is his designated place. But if they go with experimenting Rishabh Pant as an opener, it doesn't make any sense because anyways in the semi-final, Rohit Sharma will come as an opener. So what's the point of doing this experiment?
I think as I told you even a few weeks ago, I remember that Rishabh is even planning to open in the IPL for Lucknow. So I mean, what's actually happening here is Rishabh is looking at the team structures for the test side. He's already there in the test side, so there's no issue there. But then in the one day and the T20 setup, the only position that's gonna be vacant is Rohit Sharma's in the near future. So everything else is already cluttered. So Rishabh is finding it hard to get into the white ball setup. The only place that he finds where he can fit in is probably one day's opener and a T20 as an opener. So that's why probably he's pushing to open. I think he would open, but as you rightly said, that it should be KL and Rishabh in the at number five. But if even if we do that, then KL in the remaining of the matches is going to bat at number five. So, I mean, we have seen KL open and now he's settled at his position. So, probably the team management will keep KL where he normally bats, which is the number 5 now, and give Rishabh a go in the in the power play where the fielders are up, and probably Rishabh gets to hit a few and we see something new.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see how good that experiment works. But
See, because if you're realistic enough, the day Rohit Sharma hangs his boot in one day format, you have ready-made opener in Yashasvi Jaiswal.
yes, yes,
So
that's
that's
already there.
that's coming in. That's already there. But there is no other place for Rishabh in this squad, sadly, because KL is so good. So I mean, what is he gonna do? He has to take his chances.
Probably if Virat Kohli decides to retire before the next ODI World Cup, then there is a
That's not
place.
happening.
Uh,
Do you
yeah,
think it's happening because the way I see it, Virat has already decided to not play T20s. He's playing the IPLs. The one day matches aren't really happening that much. Now next year again is a T20 World Cup. So after this Champions Trophy, not a lot many one day games will happen again.
yeah.
So I think Virat is ready for the next 50 over World Cup. If you ask me.
But yeah, that's 2 years down the line. He would be 38. In from fitness perspective, there is no doubt about it.
Yeah,
But it's just the form that will be questionable at that time because he would only be playing tests and an IPL till the next ODI World Cup. So that would be the only question that he would ask from
yeah.
himself
I think
rather
it can do
than
him a lot of good as well. It'll at his age, it will give him a lot of rest. He can probably play a bit of domestic circuit. Probably he's just too big for that, as we saw in that Delhi match where the
yes.
crowd was just holding to see Virat Kohli in a one-day game, in a Ranji game. But yeah, I think it will just do him a bit of good if he takes some rest in his off time.
Yeah, probably yes, yes. Might have because of the IPL schedule, it's not possible. But if he could have played some county cricket before the England tour, that would
Yeah, he
also be
already
a
lives in
beneficial.
England, so
Yeah,
that's not a problem as well.
but the IPL is just ending 15 days before the England tour, so
Yeah,
I don't think he would go to practice there. But
yeah,
yeah, maybe probably in future because this time we had Champions Trophy. If this
mm,
IPL schedule is favorable enough to let him play county cricket for probably a
yeah.
month or so, that can do really good for him in Test cricket. So yeah, that was all we had for today's discussion. The coming, like the South Africa versus England has already started, and I think it would be a good match to see how they are testing their strengths and weaknesses against each other. Because for England, there is only experimentation that they can do in this match. This otherwise it is a dead rubber for them. But for South Africa, it matters a lot more.
Yeah.
So, and then tomorrow, New Zealand locking horns with India in Dubai. So this will be, I think, their first match in Dubai. So they will also look for adjusting to the conditions and how the pitch
I think,
plays.
but India played on a Saturday and New Zealand played on a Sunday, right? So after that, New Zealand has been in Dubai since Monday. So now they also have practiced for 6 days on this pitch, and this is going to be a good game. Now all the games are the three games only left, but yeah,
Yes.
all these three are going to be big ones because India can lose to any of these three.
Correct, correct. So yeah, let's see what's the final lineup. Once tomorrow's match ends, we will get to see which semi-final is going to happen in Dubai, and if India will be playing South Africa or Australia in the semi-finals. That is the second question that we will get answer to by tomorrow's end of the day. So let's hope for the best, and we will again come next week and discuss. Hopefully, India would be playing this finals by then, and we would be discussing the lineups and all the pros and cons and strengths and weaknesses of the teams and. So till then, do enjoy Champions Trophy and keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and sharing our content. Uh, Me and Nishan signing off today, and have a great day. Thank you and bye bye.